Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the Business Events Podcast, a place to discuss the situation of our industry, the business events, talking directly to the academia experts and professionals who shape the sector. My name is Xavier Villares, and Monica Martins is with me today to conduct this interview. Hello, Monica.
Hi, Xavi. Hi, Zahra. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And our guest today is Zahra McDonald. Hello, Zahra. Thanks for being here.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Great. Zahra McDonald is a young professional, but with a lot of experience. She works in regional sales for the Five Arms, a unique hotel located in Bremer, Scottish Highlands. The Five Arms reopened in December 2018 following an extensive 5 years restoration and renovation. And Zahra has been working within the incentive travel market for nearly 8 years, having worked at the Fairmont St. Andrews, Cameron House, and Loch Lomond, and also the Balmoral. So yeah, we can start with this. Zahra, you were vice president of Site Scotland before. This is the main reason because you are here today. But however, you started as a president of the chapter just before, like a few weeks before the pandemic began.
That's correct. Yeah, it was February. It was I think I took over the 12th of February.
Just in time. And
yeah.
How have you lived all this difficult situation from your position?
Yeah, I suppose it's been like everyone else in the industry. It's just so unknown, and we've never really, well, especially somebody my age, I've never experienced anything that's had such a global impact. There was 9/11 before, there was other viruses, but since I've been in the industry, there's been nothing like this that we've ever come across. And I don't think, in anyone's lifetime it's been as crazy as this, and even the effects of 9/11, it wasn't the same impact as this. So I think, kind of just going from day to day, week to week, month to month, having each other for support. But I think initially many of us were furloughed, which was a word that we have never even heard before, or a term, or and having that opportunity from the government really supported as many of us as possible. We still even have people that are furloughed now that are in the industry, but they've managed to keep and secure their jobs. But unfortunately, there's been a lot of people that have not been able to continue with the furlough, and they were made redundant. So it's just kind of, continuing to support one another. We're a very close community in Scotland and our partners that we have. So just keeping in contact with everyone, making sure they're okay, what's happening, is there opportunities, sharing new job opportunities, and sharing personally what's happening in each of our venues, hotels, partners, suppliers, what these changes are. Because from week to week, I know with my hotel, it's changing. We were due to have Christmas and it was open, and then on last Wednesday we decided to close, which was absolutely the right thing because now we've gone into lockdown from Boxing Day. So yeah, we're learning day to day, 100%. Oh, you're on mute there.
Here again. So regarding this, the level of activity, regarding incentive travels this year compared to previous seasons, have been like really low, scarce in this way.
And, yeah, oh, sorry, on you go.
No, please tell me.
Well, I was just going to say, on the books, absolutely virtually nothing of incentive travel across the board, I think, because I think 2020 is just gone, because our incentive travel season typically would start end of March, beginning of April, all the way to maybe beginning of November, and that includes all markets, even UK domestic business. So it's completely gone. It was all individual leisure, family traveling that we were allowed to, and that we did welcome. Companies were just not in a position to send any of their employees away for work, or there's travel bans. I know there's travel bans for a lot of companies now, even until summer next year. There's a plan of them not even going back into the office until potentially April, and that's if it's getting reviewed in April. So It's very difficult. There's small amount of incentive business that we did get, but it was companies buying vouchers or a reward or a dinner or an overnight for individuals in their company. It wasn't a group travel. So we did see a little bit, but virtually nothing in terms of incentive group travel.
And so you mentioned that there hasn't been like incentive group travel. Did the members of site look for more education opportunities as they couldn't like do these travel activities? They were searching for
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think many of our members, the word pivot just keeps coming up because everyone had to change their business strategy. So for example, our hotel, it opened in December 2018 and we relied so heavily on international business. You know, there was maybe around about 40 to 50% of our business. And we thought when we opened our doors on the 1st of July, we held our rate. We thought we're going to keep the suites at the same price. We're going to see what happens with the UK business. And the UK business, you know, filled what the international travel would have been. And we just didn't expect that like for like, you know, it was amazing. You know, there was lots of UK domestic business traveling at that time when we were allowed. So it was interesting to see how our strategy could change and did change. And actually moving forward, even into 2021, yes, we still plan to have some international travel, but we know it's not coming back anytime soon. So our focus will be to pivot and then move into the UK domestic sales.
Okay, and you mentioned before about the government. So in general, have you felt supported by the UK government?
I don't think hospitality in general across the UK has felt supported by the UK government. I mean, I think furlough has been a huge blessing. However, you can furlough your staff, but if your doors are closed, you're not making any money. You know, so it is very, very difficult. And I think a lot of businesses feel that they won't survive, or hotels didn't have the opportunity or support because the tier levels were changing. And then there was lots of different blurred lines around the guidelines. Could we accept people from other tier regions? Could we accept people from London down south? Could we accept even international travelers? You know, there was a lot of blurred lines around it, and maybe the support from the government for our industry was not where we needed it to be.
Okay, and please, Sarah, can you please tell our audience about the activities that Site Scotland has developed during this year?
Yeah, I mean, like everyone, we learned to move into a virtual world, which is not something that we thought we would do. We have our own events team on the board for Site Scotland, and you know, these people are on the board to create in-person events, you know, and organize showcases and get people together for drinks and cocktails and showing off venues and having educational speakers come and speak to us. So everything that we knew how to do, we had to relearn and do it all online. And that was challenging because people have more of an opportunity to not be present online. They can turn off their cameras, they can not listen, they can continue to do work. They don't even have to log in. And actually they're members. So you don't have to come and support, you don't have to attend, but you will get out what you put in. But we started off really strong and we had lots of people attending our online events, but then it started to dwindle and we had to learn how do we re-engage people? What do people want? How do we even communicate with people and ask what they want, because they're not replying to email? So yeah, we had to learn a lot. It's been a really interesting year with our activities, but I think we did really well with our Christmas event, and we've got big plans for next year. Still online, still virtual, but we'll make it happen.
Thank you so much. We will definitely keep an eye.
Yeah.
And we read that Site also develops in the industry research. And have you had like any feedback from your members regarding the pandemic? How do the members feel about all these, and what's the general view that they have regarding the future of incentive travel?
Yeah, I think it's really difficult because a lot of our members, you know, more of the destination management companies, you know, unlike a hotel, you know, they can't automatically switch and flip their business module from international to domestic business because the UK is not an incentive kind of market. You know, a lot of companies in the UK do not incentivize their staff in the same way that North Americans do. So a lot of our members have not seen any business come in this year, whereas hotels, Gleneagles, Fairmont, ourselves, the Old Course, you know, we've had other business come in, but their business has moved from 2020 to 2021, now moving into 2022. And what they predicted for a strong 2021 is not happening. You know, we've got people saying that they're coming in April. I don't know. Are we having group travel come in April? We don't know. So it's still so uncertain. And I think, yeah, it's really a mixed bag from our members. A lot of our members have still got their teams on furlough, but there's no guarantee of when they're coming back or how they're going to have enough work for them to do when they come back. So we're still in a really difficult time. And in terms of globally, yeah, I mean, Site is a global entity. I have a call every week with the global team and other presidents around the world. And stories are different, you know. In Florida, for example, they had an event last week for 85 people. And they said, oh, we had to cap it at 85. They wouldn't let us have any more. And we think, oh my God, we can't even sit in a room with one other person. You know, it's really bizarre. So things are moving in the right direction for some and not for others. And we don't know. Yeah, really all different situations. You know, Florida can have 85 people, but California's in lockdown. So it's a bit different.
Yeah. Okay. It sounds indeed, yeah, like confusing and difficult to know about how to cope with this, to deal with this in the future. And on top of this, you know, now it's here, it's official. And how do you feel so about Brexit? Do you think that the new situation, sorry for this, do you think that the new situation may increase the current difficulties that we are living within the sector? What is your perspective about this?
I think so. In the beginning, you know, when Brexit first happened and, you know, I was traveling a lot and talking to different clients, that they weren't really concerned. They didn't see it as a big deal and what would change. And actually, but now more that it's happening. And, you know, the 31st of December, there's lots of things that are going to change for us. And, you know, it doesn't help that we're in the height of another global pandemic wave. And I think that, yeah, it is going to make a difference. And I think the UK is being viewed in a different perspective. And that's the problem now. And we're not going to know more until moving into next year, but I think it will have more of an effect than we think it will. And only time will tell, unfortunately.
I don't know, Monica, do you want to, yeah.
Yeah, so and we speak about like the UK as a whole, of course, but how do you see the connection between Scotland, for example, and Europe? In terms of incentive travel, because we know that like the image of Scotland is it's different from the one of the UK. So
yeah, you're right. And I think people do have a different perspective of Scotland and Ireland, because, you know, we are less populated, less dense. We have a lot more unique opportunities to offer something on a scale that can be perceived as safe. You know, we're very safe. We're a secondary destination. We're not London. We're not, you know, the main city in the UK. So we've always kind of been seen as a little bit of a safer option. And I think our relations, Scotland, France, Scotland, Germany, you know, there's maybe better ties there. But then does that lead into a whole other conversation about Scotland being independent? I don't know. But yeah, quite interesting. But I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I think the perception of Scotland with Europe is a little bit different.
Okay. Now, Zahra, thank you very much for this interview, and we want just to say that good luck with this 21, and for sure it will be like a much better year. We are sure. So, and thank you so much, Zahra, for your time and for being with us today.
No, that's okay. Thank you very much for having me. It's good to kind of talk about these things as well and spread the word, and definitely about what Sight Scotland are doing as a whole with our members. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you so much for listening to this 4th episode. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, the Business Events Podcast. Get in touch if you would like to be a guest in our podcast. Our email is info@thebusinesseventspodcast.com. Thank you, Zahra, again, and thank you, Monica, and see you soon.